Hello guys, how are we all doing? Welcome back to yet another predictions video. I'm joined again by HPYT.
Yeah, can't get rid of me. So basically what's happened is Cookie's not here, Sophie can't be asked, and George is too busy, so you got me again.
Ah, such a
Hello.
shame. But, you know what, you're pretty good with your predictions. Make sure to like and subscribe before we get into this, and let's go. Derby County versus Coventry. We're recording this before Coventry play Hull because the fixtures are coming that thick and fast. But we know Derby have just lost to Blackburn. They lost 3-1. And in that game, they looked good in the first half, but a bit fragile in the second half. I think Coventry could come away with 3 points here. They're both fighting for something. I'm going to say Derby 1, Coventry City 2.
Yeah, I will as well. I think Derby were rattled by the changes that Mowbray made at half-time against Blackburn tonight. And it's what consigned them to the defeat because the pressure was just too much for them in the end. And they buckled. They had a 10-minute spell of just terror and they conceded 2 goals, and that's when they lost the game. So if we can do that, we'll probably do the same thing, but they're a good side, Derby are, and they'll probably score in most of the remaining games this season.
The other early kick-off is at Bramall Lane, where Sheffield United take on Barnsley. Now, you would fancy Sheffield United in this, but Barnsley are within touching distance of being outside that bottom 3 with a big result against Bristol City in the week. It is also a Yorkshire derby, so I feel like anything's possible. And Sheffield United got injuries, so I think this will be a lot closer than people will think. But I am going to back the Blades just because they're at home and the quality. But 2-1.
Yeah, no, good side, Sheffield United. Barnsley, obviously, on their way out. They're not there yet. I think this is going to be a step too far, though. I think it'll be 2-0 to the Blades. They'll make a game of it, but I think it'll just be a case of the Blades just being slightly too strong.
Next up we go to Ashton Gate, where Bristol City take on West Bromwich Albion. We've just seen West Bromwich Albion beat Fulham. Really big result for them. West Brom seem to be turning a bit of a corner. Bristol City, meanwhile, bit patchy, aren't they? They win at Blackburn, then they lose to Barnsley. I'm going to back the Baggies here because they're improving. 2-0.
Yeah, I would as well. Bristol City obviously just lost to Barnsley as well, which not a great sign for them. West Brom, maybe they're coming back into form at just the right time. They've still got a lot to do if they want to challenge the 6th place. I don't want to go with a 2-0, but I do think it will be. I'm going to have to say 3-1 just to be different. I don't want to sit here and just agree with Matt all night because that's why I'm here. But 3-1 to the Baggies, I think, is where we're going with this.
Next up, Huddersfield Town versus AFC Bournemouth. Could be an interesting game. Surely Huddersfield can't catch Bournemouth this season. Bournemouth did drop points to Reading though, so a bit of a questionable result there. Bournemouth, I think, will finish second, but in some games they're just kind of limping over the line. I think they look good for second. Huddersfield, I think, look good for the playoffs. 1-1, I think they're both decent.
Yeah, I mean, for Bournemouth to not finish second, they'd have to have a horrendous run of just leaking goals constantly. And I don't see them doing that. I don't think they are in a position where they're going to have that problem, especially since they're scoring as well. Not loads, but they're scoring enough to keep them just picking up points at the required rate. They're not going to challenge for the title, I wouldn't have thought now, but second place is pretty much secured. I think I'm going to go 2-1 to Bournemouth on this one.
2-1. It's a big game. Next up we go to Hull City versus Luton. We've said about Hull being safe, but Luton really in that sort of top 6 mix. It's such a frantic race at the moment where everyone's tripping over each other and some teams are going to make it and some teams aren't. Thing is with this game, I just look at it and think Luton are solid on the road at grinding out these results, so it wouldn't surprise me if it's Hull 0, Luton 1.
Yeah, I agree about Luton on the road. They are pretty solid. I just think that Hull are also quite a stubborn team. They've found their way to play to pick up points. They are safe, but they won't be relaxed in knowing that they're safe until they're mathematically safe. So I feel like this game might be really horrible and scrappy. And I think that might play into both teams' hands, and I think we'll see them both score. And I think we'll have a score draw at 1-1.
1-1. Now, next up, Reading versus Blackburn. They both picked up decent results on the Tuesday night. Reading will be more than pleased with that result at Bournemouth, and they'll be happy that Blackburn beat Derby County. I think Reading's main concern is now Barnsley, who are gaining on them. Blackburn, good result. They're into the 60s now. They need to get up to about 74, 75 points to make the playoffs. I don't think they'll win this one. I think Reading have got something about them. I think this could finish 1-1.
Yeah, the Blackburn second half was unreal tonight, the game that we just watched. They really piled the pressure on I'm not sure if they will be able to take that momentum forwards because they've been so rocky in recent weeks and months. They can get a good result here, and then the game after they have a real stinker and drop points to a team they shouldn't. We might have another one of those here. I went for a Desmond in the Blackburn game for tonight. I think I'm going to go for another one. It really does depend on which Blackburn decide to show up.
Next up we go to Stoke City versus Millwall. Millwall picking up decent results. They're in that mix, aren't they? I don't know if Millwall will make it. I feel like they may be leaving it too late. Who knows? They could make it. There's a lot of traffic to get through though. And Stoke City, it's time to play beach ball, isn't it? They're on the beach. I think they could be a little bit of an obstacle and deny Millwall a win. I'll say 0-0.
I think Stoke are on the beach, but it's raining because they're so bad at the minute that I don't think they can be happy.
No.
Because they really should have been pushing for the top 6 this year.
It's not a good beach. They're at Skegness, I think.
They're at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. Somebody's just come and offered them, one of those dodgy little fake Lacoste t-shirts you get for a couple of quid, and they want to go home. I think now their focus is on next season. I think they will not be interested in this game at all, and they'll just want to get it over and done with. And I think Millwall will win it, probably 2-0.
Next up to the Liberty, where Swansea City take on Birmingham City. Swansea, they're so hard to predict. When I think they're doing well, they lose. When they're not doing so well, they come up with a win. They're up against Birmingham, though, who not great, to be honest. They lost to Middlesbrough. Pedersen got a red card. Not too many positives to take. Okay, they saved a penalty, but that's not great, is it? Swansea 2-0.
Yeah, 2-0. Again, I'm not interested really in talking too much about Birmingham. We know what they're like. Swansea, they're a good footballing team. They like to play football, and they can score goals as well. I still don't know how they're doing so badly in terms of the league table. I think their awful start put them there really. But in the last sort of month or so, maybe even a bit longer, they've looked a lot better.
Yeah, absolutely. Now QPR take on Peterborough on the Sunday. I think QPR have been stuttering a bit. It was a really good win at Luton, but you fancy them here at home to Posh. Posh just aren't very good on the road, are they? I think QPR win this quite comfortably. I'll say 2-0.
Yeah, if it was anyone else other than Posh, I'd question QPR here. Because they have been shown real signs of fatigue almost. And maybe that they're not in for the whole run. But because it is Peterborough, I can't see them not winning it. Like, easily. I'm going for 3-0.
Wow, 3-0. And then there's a couple of games that have now been rescheduled for a few weeks' time, but we'll go through them quickly for when they do come around. Preston Blackpool's actually a good derby. I think both teams will be probably finishing right next to each other in the table. Blackpool will be very pleased with that as a newly promoted team. I think this could finish 1-1.
Yeah, I'm going to give that 2-1 to Blackpool, purely based on the fact that they have surprised a lot of people. Yeah. Obviously, we've seen how well they've done. Preston can batter a team and score 1 or 2 goals for the whole game and not have any pressure come onto them. It just depends on which day they turn up on. So I think Blackburn might have the edge just slightly.
Next up to Craven Cottage, Fulham would have taken on Nottingham Forest. Like I say, this will be played in a couple of weeks' time. Forest obviously having great progress in the FA Cup. I wonder if that will come back to bite Forest. I think this is a tricky game. Not many teams get anything from Craven Cottage. I'll say 1-0 Fulham.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go for a 0-0 here. A 0-0. Because they are 2 very good teams. They are 2 teams I would expect to finish in those promotion places. Obviously, Fulham at the top. So I just think they might end up cancelling each other out.
And then the last one would have been Middlesbrough versus Cardiff. The Neil Warnock derby, the Ikpeazu derby, whatever you want to call it. I think Middlesbrough are brilliant at home, and I'm going to back them 2-0.
Hoofball derby? Hoofball derby? Maybe. Yeah, I think Middlesbrough win this. They look very good. They're a pick of mine for the top 6 again. I think it will end 2-1. They just seem to grind out wins.
That wraps up our championship predictions, guys. Let me know your thoughts down below. There's an international break coming, but don't worry, the content will keep coming. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe. We'll see you in the next video. Peace out.